Marcello. I'm going to introduce what we're going to be doing on a weekly, kind of bi-weekly basis here. Today, we're going to learn more about Marcello's background, kind of what he was doing before BevCanna, the origin stories, if you want to call it that. But then going forward, we're going to talk about the company, the industry, and of course, answer some questions that people have. So I do invite anyone who has questions or has things they want to see in future videos, please drop them below. We do want this to be an interactive type video. And of course, you want to drag in questions from people that have them. So Marcello, first things first, how are you?
Great, thank you, Jason. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. I know. I mean, not as good as you apparently, because Ontario full lockdown, but things are good. Hopefully, get into the end of this stuff soon.
Yeah, but BC's not far behind you. You know,
Yeah,
we're
no,
very limited over here as well. So yeah, we're all going through it.
yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, here, let's hop into it. Usually I like to start this off kind of first couple jobs, if you want to say like, early days, call it, early 20s, late teens, the first couple. I know it might be a throwback, but I'd love to hear kind of the first kind of, steps, and we'll go from there.
Sure. I mean, wow. Now you're asking. We've gotten older, Jason. So, let's talk about coming out of university. And my background was
Yeah.
family apparel business, of which my family was an entrepreneurial foundation for our business, and we ended up opening up one of the largest independent specialty retail operations in Canada, in Vancouver, BC, and we used to represent and we owned the Versace franchise for over 31 years. And we owned the Dolce Gabbana franchise for almost 9 years. And we were the first importers in Canada for Prada ready to wear for men's, women's, accessories, etc. So on the luxury side of the business, that was where we kind of focused the family on. And we had a successful retail operation, and we ended up selling that when I was about 41, 42 years old. So it gave my mom and dad a very successful exit. A retail business, I'm sure you know, Jason, is probably one of the most competitive businesses out there. So we had a
Yeah.
very successful business. We sold the business when I was 41, and then I found myself at 41, 42, kind of after spending from university, graduation of university in the family business, then my wife and I kind of looked at what does a white space look like? What's the next 10 years going to look like, or 20 years? Where can I look at maybe starting my own entrepreneurial journey? And what would that investment look like if I was to look at some opportunities? And so I looked at the whole health and wellness space, and was introduced to an interesting plant-based mineral beverage called Trace, which, when infused with the beverages, we created the world's first plant-based functional mineral beverage, and it had some really incredible health impacts on me. And so, long and short of it, I ended up investing in this company when I was around 42 years old. I ended up acquiring the company when I was about 43, and then really started the journey to build this company, and that's kind of where I kind of started getting into the beverage space, Jason. And we started on the CPG side, and I ended up building out the facility, which when I first acquired it was about 5,000 square feet. Today it's about 42,000 square feet. Wanted to be competitive, to be able to produce our own products, but also be able to offer white label opportunities for our clients as well. So we had to make sure that we had the foundation for the base of the business with a tremendous amount of machines. Even today, when I go up to the facility and I see all these machines, I'm like, whoa. And so we have a state-of-the-art bottling facility that we can produce up to 200 million bottles per annum. And we own our own aquifer. And then from there, because we had the experience in infused beveraging with plant-based minerals, that originally, when I was first introduced to the company years ago, I was taking the nutraceutical concentrate, and then I developed the ready to drink, and it received the highest level of Health Canada compliance for CFIA. That took about 5.5 years to do that. And then about 3 years ago, because we have the full infrastructure and we do white label, we began the journey, Jason, to do cannabis infused beverages and CBD and hemp extract beverages, and we needed to apply for barrier to entry in that space is very difficult. We applied for our standard processing license, and we received that about 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago. So now we have a state of the art bottling capabilities, very unique uh, structure, as 30,000 square feet is separate and is all for CPG products. So whether it's our own alkaline spring source that comes from our own aquifer, whether it's our own plant-based beverages that you can find in about 3,000 stores across Canada. I'm getting ready to expand in the United States, Southeast Asia as well. Um, or whether we're doing white label opportunities, that's in the 30,000 square foot non-infused cannabis side of the business, completely segregated and separated from the other 10,000 square feet that we have that's licensed now for and approved for cannabis infused beverages. So we're really happy with that, and that's kind of my background.
Hey,
And
that's an incredible story. It sounds like, you know, if I could say this, throwing yourself in the most competitive, spaces, possible. Going from fashion, of course, any retail, really extremely competitive, and then you go into drinks, kind of beverages, which again, an extremely competitive business, and also doing well. So, incredible, and I'm sure on a side kind of video we could probably talk about, what goes into creating a successful beverage, or really competitive product. So extremely interesting, extremely cool. So give me so more of the origin stories for BevCanna. You guys were doing white labeling and you just started seeing things come up, or how did you say, hey, let's start BevCanna? What was the kind of origin for that?
we were um, we were approached by a couple of individuals that were kind of pioneers in the cannabis industry, and they came into our office, and they were aware of our history with infusing plant-based functional minerals into a ready-to-drink like the one I just showed you here. And this tastes like the most incredible water that you've ever tasted. It's beautiful spring alkaline water from British Columbia, you can imagine, right near the mountains. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tasting water. But to get that infusion and that process to have the efficacy of what the benefits of the product are and still tasting incredible is a proprietary process for infusion to make sure that you created a beverage that tastes good first and still has the efficacy. And so when these individuals came to our office and started to talk about cannabis, I'll never forget. It's about 3 years ago. I looked around at the table with everyone at them, and was like, cannabis, cannabis, and then everyone was kind of like, yeah, wow, new frontier cannabis and beverages, infusion of cannabis into a beverage, and then that has its own challenges, and you want to make sure that it tastes great and it's odorless, colorless, tasteless, etc., and that the onset is there. And so that's kind of how it started, and we were excited about that, and then we started to file for our license, and again another journey that takes time for anybody who comes into the space and wants to be a licensed producer. And kind of that's how it all kind of began, Jason. And now here we are today. We on the cannabis side, we can have our own beverages, and the packaging in Canada is very limited. It's very different from the United States. But this is our bottling facilities on Anarchist Mountain up near Osoyoos, British Columbia. Our brand is called Anarchist Mountain, and it's a THC CBD product that we do different blends and formulations. So we have our own beverage brand that we'll go into the marketplace with, and then we offer a nice white label opportunity. So if you wanted to start in the beverage business, Jason, and you created a formulation that you have some great ideas, or you created a great formulation, now you need a co-packer, and you need different formats, and you need cans, or you need glass, or you need plastic, and you need people that know what they're doing on the infusion space and that are registered with Health Canada. We have a nice opportunity and a nice business there that is growing very nicely. So no, we're really excited about the whole white label side of the business, because if it's going to be no different, this industry, than the alcohol industry. You saw what happened in the alcohol industry, the end of prohibition decades ago, and even decades and decades and decades and decades. Look how many new products are coming into the marketplace every single day on the alcohol side of the business. Well, guess what? This is a format people are really familiar with. This is a format that people would like to experience with CBD and THC and cannabis, the plant. And I think we're going to start. That's a one category that continues to grow and is going to be a big dominant category, which is beverages. And we're really excited about that because we're not even on first base yet.
Yeah. Look, I love the story and some good teasers for videos to come. You're talking about the industries,
There's a
talking about
canvas.
others.
There's I just wanted to show you a little bit so you can see.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thanks for that. So Noah, look, thanks for kind of the story and obviously some things we're going to cover. And I do invite anyone who has questions, please drop them below. We want to definitely cover a bunch and do some Q&As going forward. But so kind of my next question for you, now running BevCanna, give me the CEO kind of day to day, week to week kind of role, and where do you find yourself kind of doing on a day to day, week to week?
What a question. Um, it never ends. It never stops. I think uh, it's a great new category. It's a great new industry. It's still early days. I think, Jason, you saw that we've come out of a consolidation period up in Canada over the last couple of years here, in the last year specifically. I think you saw that the rollout of 2.0 was a little bit slower than everyone would have liked. We are still the only G7 country in the world that's still federally legal. We're looking for more and more of that internationally. Um, we have great barrier to entry advantage to many other companies that wish to be in this space. For us now, we built the foundation of the business. We have the infrastructure. We've got our full vertical. We've got great partners. We've got great emulsion partners. We've got everything that you would like to have to make sure that your business model is well prepared. And then comes the next phase, bringing in the right type of people with great experience on the CPG side, not only on the cannabis side, on both sides of the business. We've got a really strong management team, great QC people, great people that understand every detail of this business we have everything that took a couple of years to really build that foundation pre-revenue. So you can imagine you have to get all this ready before you get your license and you even get to revenue. And now it's the full execution of the business, Jason. So every day it's fielding calls, talking to your team, making sure that the execution is there. It's all now about distribution and sales and distribution and sales and distribution. We're past that phase of foundational building. We've got strong assets on the balance sheet. We're really set up on our vertical. Our day is nonstop, making sure that we try to get our business to positive cash flow and profitability as quickly as possible. So you can imagine when you're doing that, Jason, it never ends. It's 7 days a week, and you want to make sure that you continue to innovate and you continue to lead and you don't miss a beat, and that you're offering the right product and services at the right price for an industry that's really just starting to take off, and people are going to require what we have. And so we're here to service the small independents, and we're here to service the multinationals, and the phone doesn't stop. So the CEO role is we are blessed to have very strong people. We got a great president. Her name's Melise Panetta. She comes from head of innovation for Pepsi. Been in the cannabis space, been on the CPG side of the business. We've got strong VPs in sales. We've got a really strong group of people, and I think whenever you're building a business, you got to have people that are stronger than you in different categories. You can't be perfect in every area. It's an impossibility. I'm just pleased that we've got a really strong team, and I'm really focused on the execution of the business, which makes the CEO's life a little bit easier. So that's a good thing. But Jason, it never ends. You don't stop until you make sure that you're in a good position and you're profitable. And that's the one thing in our industry now that more people want to see, even though it's early days. But getting it to positive cash flow and profitability is key for any good operators.
Yeah, no, awesome. Look, a good overview. Yeah, wearing a lot of hats, and there's the CEO, the business roles, and then there's the public business. I like to say, obviously, kind of like running a separate business in some cases, talking to shareholders and everything else in between. So,
Yeah.
thanks for doing these videos. I know a lot of people are gonna love them, and thanks for the story and a lot of good teasers for things to come. Is there anything you think we missed about your background that you wanted to get into this video before we close things off?
No, I think we spoke about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's there's a lot of people out there. I do a lot of interviews, and there's lots of people that are young entrepreneurs and older people that are starting and want to become entrepreneurs. And um, I think you know better than anybody else. Y- in life, it's never 180% or 100%. But you got to chase your dreams, and you got to go with something. If you believe in something, then you got to go with it. And when you do go with it, you got to be ready for the good and the bad that comes along. I give this great analogy when I started kind of this whole vision of this business when I came out of the apparel business, which was a successful exit for my mom and dad and my family. I kind of look at it like if you ever watched a movie with Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams. Have you ever seen that,
I
Jason?
haven't, but
Build it, and they will come. And so,
oh, okay, yeah.
it's kind of a really interesting movie, and it's kind of like the journey that we've been kind of on as entrepreneurs, and now we're really excited because once we get to first base, this is an industry that's going to be really, really, really. Um, it's going to be dominating in North America. And I'll leave you with this just small little fact. Last month, February, the economic activity in the cannabis space alone in Canada was $17.1 billion, up from 11 billion the year before in February. So you can imagine where we're headed with this industry, right? And so we're well positioned for the future, and I think I think that kind of shares everything a little bit about my last since
Yeah.
I was 18 till 53. So here's where you are.
Yeah, no, awesome. And thanks for sharing as well. And again, I do invite anyone who has questions, things they want to see in future videos, please drop them below. But Marcello, thanks so much for joining. This was an awesome
Thank
first
you.
video.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much.